during the scrimmage the other day, a lot of your players I saw were getting their hands up quite often. And I'm just
Yeah.
wondering if that's something that you really put a focus on. I guess if they get stonewalled at the line of scrimmage, are you coaching them to get their hands up in order to get into the passing lanes, or is that just, something they've always been doing?
No, absolutely. I mean, it's something we work on. I mean, if you're not getting to the quarterback, you can't get to a spot. They jump you into protection, this 3-step protection, those type of things, or max protection where they're using two guys on one. You get a push, and then you should get your hand up. We got to alter the throw however we can. We either knock the ball down or change the course of it.
And then also, what are some of the other things that a defensive lineman can do? We talk about disrupting the pass or getting him off his mark. If a defensive lineman can't necessarily get into the backfield, what are some of the other things they can do to create confusion or just kind of knock the offensive lineman off their game, so to speak?
Well, we got to stay within the framework of the defense, obviously. But, we cage the quarterback. We want to make sure that he's uncomfortable at all times. You just don't ever want it to be like a 7-on-7 where he's just patting that ball and throwing it. You want him to feel duress. Sometimes, the pressure of feeling those guys in your face is as good as a sack because, like you said, it will disrupt timing and throws and all that stuff.
Hey, Sean, Leonard Williams has looked powerful out there. What do you think? What do you think of his camp so far? Does he look healthy to you? And what do you think he's doing well?
Well, I think one thing is he's doing a great job of taking the classroom work, the work we do in the meetings prior to practice and being able to bring that out on the field and do the things we're asking him to do. Clearly, as you guys know, he's an unbelievable athlete. I think he's starting to put it all together. He's always had the tools. He's working on refining his craft right now. He looks strong, and powerful, like you said. And, I'm just happy with his progress right now.
When you watch his film and you're coaching him up on, how he can finish all those things, what do you see technically or in his game that can lift him, above just the pressures to finishing?
Well, obviously, as we stated before, that he's a tremendous athlete, right? So we got to take him from being just this tremendous athlete to refining him as a football player. And I think he's working toward that right now. I mean, what I tell Leonard is the same thing I'll tell Dex. It's the same thing I'll tell Chris Slayton. Everybody's kind of coached the same. I don't have a particular, like, this is a Leonard focus. Clearly there's things that he's going to do really well that you want to use those tools, but at the same time, within the framework of what I'm teaching, he's doing those things and trying to articulate those things on the field.
I mean, we spend a lot of time when we talk to you about Dalvin and Leonard and Dexter. How are the other guys doing? RJ, BJ, Chris, AJ?
Yeah, I like what I see from all those guys throughout camp. Everyone's working hard. We know it's tremendous competition in that room. And one of the things I stressed in the meeting today was let's not lose sight of that. We do things where, sometimes we split the field up, and I don't want those guys to ever think that I'm not watching. I want them to have tremendous competition within each other day in and day out. They can't take their foot off the gas ever.
Okay. And the other thing I was going to ask is, how many of the linebackers technically fit into your meeting?
Well, not really. Those guys, Brett works with the outside guys. So, we collaborate on pass rush things, twists, how to rush the quarterback. So we collaborate on those, but those guys really never sit in my room. I really work with the interior three.
Thank you.
I was curious, what are your thoughts on your group in the scrimmage?
Well, I thought we took a step. We kind of got on them a couple of days before that in practice. Not got on them, but, you set an expectation, and whatever that expectation is we set, we need to reach it or surpass it every day. And I think we took a step. I'm not saying we're there yet. We definitely took a step. And what I mean by taking a step is the techniques we're asking them to use, are we seeing that on film? The drill, the translation from drill to actual practice reps, does it translate? If I'm working on some drill and I see him go out of what we worked on, then that's a negative. But I started to see those guys take from the practice reps and the drill reps on to game and scrimmage situation. I'm starting to see that. So that's what I mean by we took a step.
And then I wanted to ask you about Austin Johnson, a guy I believe you have some history with.
Yep.
Just curious, what do you consider his strengths?
Well, because he's basically a vet. I mean, I got a young room, so a guy 4 years in the league is a vet now. So he understands the game. He's very, very knowledgeable. He plays a really good pad level, and his experience in the NFL has helped him. I think Tennessee, those guys did a great job with him in terms of him understanding things schematically, what the offense is trying to do. He plays with really good leverage, and it's something that he did in college. Obviously, I was fortunate enough to coach him in college, but he hasn't really lost that. It's even gotten better. So,
Sean, I just wanted to follow up on what Dan just asked about Austin Johnson. There's a theory out there that after 3-4 years in the league, you kind of are what you are. How do you get him to the next level? Does your familiarity with him help? Can you almost turn back time to 2015 with him?
Yeah, I think definitely when you've coached somebody before, they kind of know what your expectations are as a coach and what I want from him as a football player. But I don't really believe that you are what you are. I think you can get better all the time, and I think he's a perfect example of a guy that can continue to elevate his game. I saw that in college when I first got there. He was a young guy that kind of was a rep guy, rotational guy, and then the last couple of years with him, he was able to start for us, and I just saw his games start going up and up and up and up. So he's definitely a guy that is very conscientious of what he's doing at all times, almost to a fault. But my thing with him is just to get him to play fast and not have him think.
Hey, Coach, just want to ask, getting back to Leonard Williams for a minute, you talked about him being how you can help him be a finisher. He's obviously always gotten pressure on the quarterback. I'm wondering if finishing can really be a technique thing or if that's something that is more instinctive.
I think both. I think understanding your angles and understanding, why you finished or you didn't finish on that rep. Sometimes the ball is out. You guys talk about getting pressure on the quarterback. Sometimes the quarterback releases the ball, but more so it's just a continuation of that motor, right? So keep that motor going at all times. And if you're going fast and you're going hard all the time, I really think that good things will happen for you. I know it sounds cliche-ish, right? Just go hard, but that's part of it. It's part of the basics of football that you go hard on every play and good things will happen to you.
Coach, I just wanted to ask you, I think Daylon Mack was added to the roster since the last time we spoke with you.
Yep.
What are you seeing with him and where might he fit?
Well, I can tell you one thing. He can't fit a whole bunch of pants because he got the biggest thighs I've ever seen in my life. But, he's a load, right? He's a load. And, he's a guy that had a lot of success in college at Texas A&M, and he was coached by a friend of mine. So I'm excited about him. He's going to, I can't predict what he'll bring to the room, but I know that he's got great leverage being so compact and strong. So I'm excited to work with him.